Okay, let's make some porn. This here is a Ruger Mark II 22 pistol. First thing you want to do, make sure it ain't loaded. Pull the trigger. Let the hammer fall. The hammer being down is essential. It takes pressure off of the spring that's located inside of here. There's a ball right in the inside of that. It has spring pressure in here, and that's what forces your hammer down. Now, get this cover kicked out. You can see the pin that goes up through here. All you gotta do is pop her down. The nearer they are, the tighter they are. That pulls right straight down. As soon as that's out, if you locate the hammer on the inside, you want to make sure the hammer strut falls back. It's a little part connected back to the hammer. Let the hammer fall back flat as if it were cocked, then the bolt comes out. Once the bolt's out, a good gentle bump on something soft, not hard, takes the lower off. Now what we got here is the hammer. Right now it would be in the cocked position. If I pulled the trigger, the hammer would go forward. Here's the hammer strut, which has pressure on it whenever this other piece is inside. Something that may be a little bit more easy to understand. I want to put this back together without all these other parts. Granted, it won't function, but you can see the process. Whenever, assuming that the upper was back on, you would want to point the gun up so that gravity pulls the hammer back flat. Once you do that, put the bolt back in, point the gun back down, pulling the trigger again, in theory, lets the hammer fall back to the front. And then that strut will rest on the back underneath part of the bolt here. This piece lines up in the hole, pushes it up in there like so. Now, this is where everybody usually messes up, including myself a long time ago. With the gun still pointed down, the hammer shouldn't be this far forward. The hammer shouldn't fall no further than that. With the gun pointed down, you want to make sure you can see the strut, hammer strut, down in there and kick it forward. Point the gun back towards the ground. Once you verify that the hammer strut is kicked forward, you can see the tip of it down in here. As you close this, the hammer strut will fall into this pocket right here where the big heavy spring is. As that falls in there, this sucker just latches right together. Now there's spring pressure against the hammer. If you were to pull the slide back, it would cock the hammer. Everything would work right. If that hammer strut did not go into the pocket for the spring, it would be wedged down beside the main piece in the inside of the handle. And you'd pull the slide back about halfway and it would lock up. And then you get frustrated. Again, as if this had the slide on top, pull the trigger, lets the hammer fall. Release this piece, that kicks out, this pulls down, that comes out, do all the other measures. Again, there's a hammer strut and a hammer. Now I'm going to put it back together. This part right up here, towards the front where the barrel screws into the receiver, cups up underneath this little guide right here. Using the same apparatus that you used to disengage, preferably something soft, bump it back in. You'll know it's in place because the back of the receiver will be just past the lower receiver. Now if the hammer's down, like it is here, you're good to go. Line this back up, falls in there. If the hammer's back forward, this won't go in. Now we want to make sure gravity sucks the hammer back down. We're going to put this little dude in place, making sure the hammer strut's out of the way at the moment. As this lines up, give it a little tap. Make sure the top's pushed out like that, looks good. Now here's where the strut part comes in again. You want to chunk it back so that you can see the hammer strut sticking up, and then it goes into the pocket right inside of here as you lay this closed. It shouldn't be forced, it shouldn't be hard to do. This goes back to easy. You'll know if you did it right when it does that. Hope you enjoyed my pouring.